Yeah. All right. Not even sure if I should go live. Not gonna lie. I might be too tired, but I think the only way to find out is by queuing, seeing what happens. I think that's the safest bet. I think all other options are kind of dead. I should go offline as well, so we all go offline. But yeah, so I'm queuing up. We'll see what happens. Warcraft is no longer in windowed mode, so there should be less problems with that kind of shit. I'm gonna queue up here very soon here. Not queue up, but join. And what's the timer? 16. I make it. And no space left. The fuck was that? Did I fill it? I did. Okay. Guess I'll have to wait a little bit. But yeah, so we'll see. Might actually I could use those for later. I could use those in season 2. So I guess we do this then. Add 40. Add 20. Actually, add 49. Asmongold got banned. He was talking about borders and keeping them safe. And yeah. Hassan has said way worse things in comparison, but it is what it is. So he's banned. It's not perma. I thought it was perma, but it isn't. It never is on that platform, so. But yeah. Unless you're like doing some stuff that I really don't like. Anything else? Not much. Right, the plan for now is to queue up, see how it feels, see if I can play for a bit, or if I need to log off for the evening and do other stuff. And if that's the case, then that's fine as well. No idea how much or how little I would play during the week. Yeah. All depends on how things move at work, because that ultimately decides a lot of different things. I sent off a lot of honor, so solve that. What can I do while waiting? I can do rares, but I should also come up with something else, I guess. So let's do that then. Let's check reps. Problem is this. The problem is that I was playing other characters. I was playing on NA. I was doing stuff. I wonder if there are... It's like Kilek said, when you're farming, you should do it while it's current, because that's when it's the easiest. And I kind of think that's the way to do it, in a sense, but we'll see. I want to get a hold of mounts. That's how I feel. Mounts are fun. The problem is, it's usually a different character that needs the rep. Okay, so what do I decide here? I'll switch music here soon. I think this is the penultimate one, and then I'm done. Also, we'll need Najatar. Actually, let's do that. Najatar. Shit. I don't know if I can. Don't know if I can. Maybe I'll solve that later. What can I do? What can I do? Flag map. That's a great starter. That's a great way to see if I have, wait, this is wrong. I don't know when I moved it, but yeah, that was wrong. Alliance. Let's see. 638. Barrel. $579. So basically, this. Yeah, let me. Right, so I think that means that the next track will be Burning Crusade related, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Time tells. I was watching the previous VOD, and yeah, there is, yeah. Hold on, I gotta focus up. I wait here. All right, so looks like we have the same idea. Is he alive? He's alive. I go. There too. Who has flag? Hunter has flag. Okay, that's the cap. Okay. So our team, okay. As long as we keep this up, this is fine. I go this side. I grab Zerk. I go ahead. Let's see. That one is slow. They're fine over there. Okay. Okay. Where's my mouse? Okay. So this is fine. I'm healed. They grab flag soon. All right. This is a good game. Didn't even see we had two caps there. So they're basically gonna bring more players. Okay, maybe not. GG. That was a good game. That was a weird intro. That didn't feel like a 1900 game. Well, I guess my team kind of felt like, but not the enemies. But I guess I don't know. Yeah, but whatever. Let's hit the music. I need to lower this. It's a bit high on the color scheme. There we go. Let's queue up instantly. I don't know if I'll I don't know if yeah, I don't know how long I'll be online right now. What do I do? I guess let's do this. Simple armory. Oh. I guess it's like this then. Let's see, rave. Oops, not US. EU. Raven Crest. There we go. Let's see. I had moved the mic a bit. Collectible mounts. Albino Drake, Blue Hawk. Mount Parade. Mount to mounts, leading cavalry, file fire, loader range. These are more 100 exalted. Okay, so I think I have that then. I mean, yeah, okay. So I should have. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, so basically, this is a good planner. It's a good planner, but it doesn't have buying. It's interesting though. It seems like when I look at this list now, it feels entirely different than in the past. In the past, when I was looking at this, I was like, nah. But now I'm like, yeah, of course. But the thing is, I wouldn't do it on, so let's do it like this. I don't know if this will work. That's the issue, but I'll give it a shot. Things are a bit slow right now. Probably because of the windowed thing as well. Actually, wait, where is it? Uldum? Yeah. Okay. Fuck it, let's do it like this. Let's do this. Let's fuck. Messed up. Oops. Okay, so basically, Uld. Since this is trash, this works. This is not the character I should do it on, though. I should do it on a different one, but yeah, I don't know if that will happen. Water. I don't feel like flying actively because I'm going to do some stuff, but I'll be around here. Actually, this is fine. I was about to do the old world, but there's no need. I don't need to care. So this is the raid. Wait. But both are... So which one is it? Hold on. How do rares pop in this zone? Or like, I don't know. Anyways. I'm reading. So order resources. Yeah, I'll try this. Because I'm reading anyways, I can just chill. Okay, so I get all 4. That makes sense, because this is war mode as well. And this is... yeah, we'll see. Doesn't feel like I've killed these before, but we'll see. Right, this is cards. Or cars. So this is mage. 584. Right. 14. Barrel. We are Horde. I go mid. Me and Rhett would be a good combo. Feral. Right. If I have several showing my side, meaning from my team, I slow. If we're 3, I slow. Fuck, the Blitz killed me. Alliance got... so I slowed, but Alliance still got... okay. I don't make mid, I make top. Wait. I should tag. I don't make it though. Fuck it. They should tag. We'll see what happens. Fuck. Fuck me. That wasted time well there. I was considering peeling out, but I don't know. Oh, fuck me. I felt it bonded with my homie. God damn it, I'm throwing. Oh man, I'm so tired. My brain is so fried. Fuck, they turned it. They turned the other one top. I need to turn it. Or I guess this is good for us, maybe. We'll see. To get that top, I turn this one down. Actually, never mind. I don't turn it down. Fuck me, the mage. Let's hit this guy. I need to heal. Let's see. That one's gone. So I tag this, and then there's two here. Two, three. Yeah. Oh, what can I do? What can I do? Let me think. They get residuals from that one. There's three here. Checking. Okay, cool. They should overextend, I hope. No, maybe not. Let's wait. Let's see if I can get this warlock, maybe. Actually. Oh, fuck, that guy. Couldn't do it. Don't know why I'm trying to kick the fucking... Why I'm trying to kick the... Yeah. This is a good team fight practice, though. Let me hit the warlock, I think. Seems squishy. Yeah, midwinter. I don't make it there in time, but I'll run all the way there. Yeah. Let's queue again. Okay, so these respawn fast. Interesting. Go over here, this side. Hit the music again. Is it? Let's see. Brought by Anubisath, Temple of. Okay, so it's temple. There it is. Okay. So Temple of Akinraj. You can either do full clears or you can do doing the beginning and then resetting. Not resetting, but yeah. Patrol at the start of the entrance. This was patch 303, so that is Wrath. Because 1 is vanilla, 2 is TBC, 203 and 204 were absolutely classic patches with the buffs to alts leveling. Let me do this. Right. Anubisath Sentinels. Okay. So it's basically... Oh yeah, because it's not... Because it's... Okay, hold on. Let's check if I need to kill this. Eradicator. Yes. Okay. Basically, I kill all of these and then I go out. Because this is 10 mobs or whatever the number is, right? So I'm better off just doing them all. Yeah, I should pull one and then wait and then kill. I'm wasting time right now. But also I'm kind of chilling. It's nice. I'm vibing. Yeah, this is vibey. This one disappears. No, I have it. Okay. What can I do? Should I listen to something? Yes. LS. Peace.
Lucian, Milio. Darvin picked up Lucian, Milio. Also, it's still Loki and Tactical, so no Sven, no APA. Howdy. Hello. How are you? Olaf being selected, and then a Galio. So honestly, a pretty weird Smorkzug from DSG into C9. All in all, I mean, C9's draft is just so uber ultra omega generic. There's no one to properly block the culling. I would say that C9 end up losing the draft, but I don't think it's gonna matter because I think that the gap in skill between the two teams is just way too high. Who I think is better between Loki and Call Me? I think Loki is better than Call Me. I don't think Call Me has been really weird because people wanted to bring over Call Me for like a while, but they never ended up doing it. And even now that he's brought over, I don't feel like it. You know? I don't feel like there's a very big thing. That makes sense. Scorch on Galio in a lane against Oriana where you're never looking for lethal. That's brilliant. It's not even being used as like a defensive rune. Okay, Flabber gets the red, but walks over a ward, so everyone's gonna know what's happening. Trya just doing standard 2, and it looks like he wants to move into Jarvan's red side. They know exactly where he is because they see him on the Raptors. They know the clear speed of it. Also, Okay. Yep. Here we go. Alright, so they know he's around here. He's probably right here, would be my guess. Oh no, okay, he went the other way, wow. Alright, alright, so he's just taking it super safe. He knows exactly what's going on. If he was gonna try to see what Cryo was gonna be doing, then he would have ended up being in the top brush, in which case you'd try to basically monitor the situation. It wouldn't be that great because of what's happening in mid and top lane. Neither laner would be able to move to help you at all, so... Alright. And Thanatos has Swiftness Boots, first item. First Drake is sort of a nothing burger. The whole thing about this game developing as slow as it's going to develop is that there's no narrative to the team compositions until third, fourth item. And so depending on the first Drake timing capture, we get a pretty good indicator of game length. Looks like Jarvan's going to start right now.
I thought that was boss. I got scared a bit there. So I wanted to kill all, but not boss.
We're watching Call Me and Loki just mess with each other, but yeah, okay. Alright, here we go. Maybe first fight. Kara doesn't have level 6. And Blabber's missing a lot of HP. Alright, they get the flash out. Oh, missed Blabber. Blabber does end up flashing. Here's Lucian. Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, Vulcan misses a fucking field goal. Cryo ends up going in. It's gonna be a trade. Oh, there's the poison on Lucian. Nice spacing. Honestly, nice spacing. Oh my god, man.
So does Loki. It's another 1-for-1 trade as Vulcan goes back in after Lions, who's trying to find the kill and attack. And Lions gets it. Vulcan
Does he get the poison? Nice. Okay. Honestly, a complete bloodshed, but this super favors C9. I mean, fight should have definitely gone horrible for DSG. So Hook ends up missing, they miss space, and then Blabber ends up flashing. I think he doesn't need to flash. EQ in from Jarvan, Vulcan losing a lot of HP. Exhaust ends up coming down, and then the hook from Vulcan lands. Look at what Blabber ends up doing. He goes back in and he starts tanking the dragon instead of just spacing differently. So he doesn't get another EQ volley all.
Understand why hold on. I understand why they didn't do like a pre-game, I forget what it's called, but basically when you discuss things before the game. But that's what would be the most interesting thing, because I would like to hear what LS would have liked to see, what he expects, and blah 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 blah. You know, like shit, I can't speak. Oh my god, analytical talk, right? But instead they cut straight into the commentary of the game, which isn't his strong point. Because he's a much stronger, like I mean, if he was doing it, let's say, as an actual caster, yeah, of course he would do it great. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but basically, I want LS for LS brain, right? So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I think, also, I don't have many resets left here. With this, so so I probably end up using second. What's this? So now it's showing. I didn't think I had an add-on like that, but now I do. Which add-on is that then? Not sure. We'll see. Do I kill it before it reaches? No, I don't. In that case, we played safe. I don't want to kill boss. Is it Hunter, I think? Could do this rep for Exalted, but the problem is it's the same account, so I can't queue if I do that. I would have to queue on second account, and that's not happening because I'm playing Blitz on main. Let's see. Damn it, I don't think I can listen to this. I don't think it will work. What do I do after I'm locked out? I think what options do I have? I can level an alt and second account. I can try to farm things, just not sure what. I can... not sure. Not sure. Options. What do I do? Q is taking forever. Yeah, Q is taking forever. I won't have many games. That means that I will sleep earlier. And then probably... yeah. We'll see. But this is not feeling great. It didn't. Yeah. That one took longer time now because I fucked up. Well, okay, not that much longer. That's good. Thought it was worse. Yeah. I like this pull. Like I like this. This is chill. Maybe I should do this on two I should use 2 accounts. Problem is one has to follow. It's just faster doing it this way. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can use second account. Go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll come up with something. I think that was the last one. The other. Okay, no, it's not. No. Okay. Flag map. Fun. Yeah. Right. Let me... okay. Thank them. Okay, so basically... yeah. It's the usual ping-ponging. But on this map, there's way less because it's a lot more compact, this map. Which means I play defense. Ass rogue. Yeah, I play defense. He plays offense. Yeah. Get that off for now. Increase the volume in my ears. This tunnel is Bugged as well. So one of ours grabs Zerk. Hunter's in combat. I think my team is the one playing scared, but we'll see. Right, so no one's picking flag either side. We have one dead. He overextends. I go defense. Where's the other one? I saw a priest. Okay. Okay, so we have... I go here. I go ahead. I'm not letting anyone pick flag. Disarm that. Grab Zerk. I'm dead here. I run to my corpse. No time. Res timer's too short. I grab Zerk in hut. Our guy's on cap. Five stacks. They kill. Almost. They're live lording right now. Fuck me. Should have skipped the Zerk there. My bad. I threw. I choked. They don't have offense though. They have full defense. We could regroup. We're both on cap. I go this way. What's the stacks on toads? 10. No. Not 10. Priest is dead here. They capped. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. I go O. See if I can slow mid. No need to drink it, it's fine. I cloak. Kidney this. Gets precog. Fuck. I remembered my healing potion or whatever the fuck it's called. Too late. But I actually remembered it there and I began clicking it. But I remembered it as I was too low on HP and I was in CC, I think. So I didn't get the heal off. Checking Zerk. And they cross each other. Sap this. Fuck me. I don't have it. This guy's grabbing flag as well. I go him. Lair. Where's my... freedoms? Gouge to this, I can't. Yeah. First time. I grab Zerk. First time. Now, does my boy stay alive? Not sure. Do I have blind? I have blind. Yeah. Okay, so basically, Is he not healed or is he healed? He's probably healed, right? I'm hoping that I burned a couple of CDs of theirs so my boys can kill this guy. We get the cap. And then, yeah, because the person has to move. Yes, I'm wasting time on Zerk. Because we lose anyways if we lose, right? So me having Zerk. They both drop. I go here. I slug graveyard. I think they kill. I stay ahead. They kill. We don't have the time for it. Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. Where's where the hell am I? Oh. Wait, what? Where am I? Okay. Yeah, don't feel like listening to LS, I think. Don't think I can do this. Let's see. Okay, so there's one more. I wonder how many more you can do of these. Maybe I should have like a counter. Okay. Beefy boys. Okay. Yeah, feels like it's maybe måndag, tisdag. So it feels like there's maybe 1 or 2 games left today. And then it's like maybe hold on. Yeah. No, can't do that. can look into that. Yeah. Weird. Can't sell it. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I'm thinking of a lot of things. I'm definitely, yeah, there it is. Too many instances. Okay. So basically, I'm thinking of everything except the game right now. Oh, yeah. Reflections with Thorin. Inspired. Yeah, okay. So I think it's 1 or 2 games and then I'm done today. That way I'll have energy for tomorrow. I think that's the play. Which add-on was that though? Let's check. And then we decide on a different place to go. Nope. Okay, so it is Trophy then. That's installed. So I guess I installed it in advance. Or like, yeah. Back when I was streaming last time. Earlier today. Prices are dropping. Don't really feel like... I mean, Darkmoon Fair ended. No, ended or started? It started. Ended? It ended. Yeah, so I hardly used it. But the travel time is really a downer, in my opinion. Yeah, that yawn, that's a tired yawn. Right. What can I do? Let's listen to Thorin, fuck it. See what happens. Oops. Don't need that.
Right, I'm here for another episode of Reflections, and my guest for this one is Inspired, who is a return guest. And since in the last interview we did cover, unsurprisingly up to that point in time, which was at the beginning of 2024, so we already talked about Rogue and his time in Evil Geniuses, for example. I do have a couple of questions though about that period before we get into the Fly Quest and going on to Lion period. And one of them would be the following, which is, I actually think now it's kind of interesting to reflect back that when you came to NA, maybe people forget this, but even though you were an MVP in Europe and the team you were on, Rogue, was actually a team that had
Wait, Inspired is from Europe. Well, that explains a couple of things.
fabulous regular season record. You're clearly one of the best teams. He was even going to Worlds.
French, maybe?
Even in position to almost get out of groups at Worlds.
Danish?
I actually do think back then, because there was the infamous like Rogue time thing where the game sort of just fell apart at like 30 minutes or whatever it was, famously. I actually do feel like back then people blamed you specifically and they thought you had some sort of like weird style of jungling or something, or you were like, I don't know, you were farming too much or something. And the reason I bring it up now is because, first of all, back then I think one of the reasons maybe why they did it was obviously Larson was the other star player in Rogue, and at the time you both had like, let's say, unusual styles of play compared to, and I think back then a lot of people think, well, he was the star, so since then after that Malran came in and then they won, it must have been you must have been the problem in somewhere. But I feel like if a lot of fans are listening who are newer fans, they're going to think, what is this story like? Isn't Inspired like the best jungler now? Doesn't he run all his teams? When you think back now on Rogue, do you have a different perspective on that time? Like, one, did you feel like they blamed you? And also, like, what do you, how much of the style of Rogue was down to Inspired, do you think?
I mean, honestly, I didn't feel that people were like thinking that it was my fault or anything. I think it was more of a team fault. But honestly, looking back at it, I think we were all good individual players, but I think we didn't really have enough like experience in mid to late game situations. Because looking back at it right now, when I play and I play against all these like less experienced teams, I can kind of feel like they are in the similar spot where I was before.
Yes.
Like there are situations where you need to make a decision really fast and just make everyone on the
Poland.
same page on that. And I feel like on
Nice.
Rogue, we were good at laning. I think I was good at just playing
Awesome.
the game, early game especially, and knowing what I need to do in order to get the lead. But then once we had the lead, we didn't really have anyone that would like call really well what we should do during the team fights. And I think that's the part as well that I improved the most over the years, because I think I was always like a good jungler from the beginning, because I think you need to have a good early game to even be picked up by a team in LST. But I think team fighting and team fighting especially is something people don't really. I think team fighting and just mid to late game team fighting especially is something people don't really see that well from the player, and it's also something that the player gains after playing a lot of important games. I don't think you learn team fighting as a rookie. Like you need to play a lot of games. You also need to have good teammates that will teach you that if you are starting, because team fighting is where sometimes you need to have that patience, and it's very opposite from what you are used to playing solo queue, where you can just fight your way to win, while in competitive sometimes you have one or two people in the team that needs to be the first one playing the game during the team fight, and the rest needs to be there to support them and just use their spells in the correct timings. And I think a lot of rookies, they just don't feel comfortable in the team fight when their cooldowns are up, and they just want to use them to like help the team because they just want to help. But sometimes the best thing is to just stay back a little bit and just wait for enemies action. So I think that's what we were lacking on Rogue, and we're like someone comfortable in the team fight when their cooldowns are up, and they just want to use them to like help the team because they just want to help. But sometimes the best thing is to just stay back a little bit and just wait for enemies action. So I think that's what we were lacking on Rogue, and we're like someone engaged the fight or stuff like that, we're all ready to fight it, didn't really think about how it might end up. And I think all of that comes with experience, and I think that's what we lacked there, definitely.
Because what I find interesting is, I can see what you mean by that, like, because Rogue had kind of a set style of play, and I think if anything, the flaw was, it seemed like the team was a bit predictable. It stuck to that style of play, and so if teams in the playoffs did something unusual, that could be a way to kind of throw people off. What's interesting is, if I even think from Evil Geniuses onwards, it feels like you've actually, like, learned that lesson yourself, though, because, I mean, people will know the classic one in NA is, it doesn't matter how well Cloud9 and Blabber do in the regular season, it feels like the second they run into you in the playoffs, you're just kryptonite, like, his game just falls back. It feels like you've maybe learned yourself how to like disrupt other teams' play and fuck with the other jungler a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think I know what decisions you can make while you are behind to have the highest chance of enemies making mistake, and I feel like it just works really well in NA. And I'm also trying to teach it to my players that like when we are playing, like someone needs to kind of bait enemies into their mistake when we are behind, rather than trying to make an offensive play. I think, and it does work a lot in NA. I remember especially in the year when we played with FlyQuest first year, and they had the summer split roster with Thanatos, Jojo, Berserker. I feel like they were always getting ahead of us in the laning phases, but I was telling them that when it comes to teamfight, like it's really easy to make them make a mistake, because all of them wanted to go forward because they were stronger, and they didn't really have that patience that I was talking about that I didn't have on the Rogue times when we were ahead. And I feel like that's why the Cloud9 roster was, even though they were stronger players individually than us on FlyQuest for the first 15 minutes of the game, I knew that when it comes to teamfight, just need to stay calm and try to make them make a mistake. And once we had a lead in those games, I think we would never really be able to throw them. So yeah, I think just knowing that sometimes you don't have to do something super aggressive to come back to the game, and you have a lead, you can just take it a bit slower, and you don't have to use all your main abilities of your team comp on the first target that you hit.
Yes.
Because that's usually how you throw the game. If you use all your main abilities on one guy and that guy doesn't get one shot, you are really vulnerable to enemies turning on you, and that's how a lot of games are thrown, especially in NA. So I think that's good way, and something that I got way better with experience I got.
Something else I feel like as an outsider looking in on your teams that you've obviously developed since you've been in NA as well, maybe Evil Genius is going into FlyQuest, is it feels like you're now more not just the jungle, you're the captain of your teams to some degree, you're more of like a leader, people have to listen to you. I mean, one area I wanted to ask about that is, maybe people know the whole drama with Danny and Evil Genius, etc., but I would just put that to one side, it's not what this interview's about. What I wanted to ask was this, it's obvious because he was a rookie player and he's someone who, I mean, put it this way, he just looked like he had a tricky time coping with living in the competitive world with all the pressures, and obviously if you think about his role, there's a lot of pressure in that role to carry the game if you get to the late game. He's supposed to, if you're the ADC, carry the team fight and get the pentakill and all that jazz. I was actually told by people like Peter Dunn that that's one area where they were actually impressed with you, that they said even though you have this perception in public that you're like really critical of your teammates and you kind of like the EU jungler in that sense, they actually said towards people like Danny, where you knew they like had areas they struggled in, you were actually kind of like almost like a bigger brother, and you tried to sort of put your arm around them or even tell them literally strategically like, hey, look at this, you know, we'll get you through this point of the game and then this is when you'll come online. Is it true? Have you sort of had to learn how to not just be a really good player? Because I feel like in Rogue everyone's job was just be a really good player, right? Then you in the game. Was there a bit more of like trying to be a captain, do you think?
I mean, definitely. I think also, especially on the EG roster, I think I learned that you need to just know your strengths and weaknesses of your teammates and just play towards them. Like if you know that Danny's strength is the game being slow, and past 15 minutes we are even in the game, he has the best time of his life, but he's not the type of guy that wants to pressure from the early game, which was like complete opposite to Hans Sama, because I think we just with Hans Sama the season before. I just knew that we have to draft the way that Danny is not in position where he has to get the lead early game. We are not making the game volatile on the other side, that enemies can easily trade into his side and make him fall behind. And I think we just had a good idea of how we want to play, especially in that spring split. Just make the game stable in the top side. I think Herald was really important back then, and a lot of teams were swapping for it. And we came to conclusion that rather than coming 5 people to Herald and just fighting, we will either contest it as 4 while Danny is getting farm on the other side, and worst case we'll give up the Herald, or we might get a good fight going 4v5 because enemies are knowing that it's 4v5 and they are like sometimes panicking because they need to send someone into opposite side because our hyper carry is getting a gold there. So then one person starts leaving, the rest didn't finish the Herald yet, and you can start looking for a team fight. And I think that was kind of our signature play, because once we got the lead, I think we knew really well how to funnel it into Danny, and I think we just put him in the position that he didn't have to use his brain too much of where he needs to be on the map. It's more like where he can just farm as much as possible, and then when we got to team fights, I think he was just playing his game. I think no one really told him exactly what to do. He was an ADC that knew how far he can step up to not die, and yeah, it was pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever played with an ADC that didn't talk like at all in the team fights, and you didn't have to tell him either like how he should play a team fight. Because right now, even when I play with Berserker, he's a very good player, but sometimes before the team fight you need to like remind him about some key abilities of enemies that he should wait and respect until they are used. And I think with Danny that's never really happened. He was just very natural at the way he was playing. But on the other hand, as I said, he had that weakness of playing laning phase. He was definitely not the guy that would win the lane even in a winning matchup. He would more like be fine in condition, not get dove, and just farm up. So we need to know that if we draft for something that needs to get ahead, it's not gonna be a good way of playing. And I think that just was a pretty good experience for me, because now going into FlyQuest and going into Lion, I think I have that idea that I know what my players are good at, and we'll try to play around it. And I think just make a game plan around what we are good at and try to win that way, rather than especially in important moments of the season trying to change the style.
Another thing that's interesting, based just on what you've said so far, like when you're talking about when you're going into a team fight, almost reminding people like, hey, watch out for this ult, or let's wait till the CC comes in before we do something. Another thing is like when you're setting up with the way you can play in the game, right? One thing I would ask is this. A lot of people maybe know that junglers already in the pro level have to be a bit vocal. They have to say things, you know, when they gank, when they have to finish farming, which objective should we group around. There's a little bit that maybe every jungler does, but it sounds like one of the things we're talking about here that I think people have noticed from a lot of the behind the scenes videos of of FlyQuest and Lion is, that's another area you're being more of like a captain figure again. And it's almost like you're reminding people of the win conditions or where we are in the game. I feel like actually maybe a lot of pro players don't do that. Some of them do just play their lane or play the game. I mean, what you're describing almost reminds me more of when people remember things that like Doinby would do, where he'd like write the timers for his jungler, or his, you know, you do like extra things, basically like adding information for his team, or sort of almost elevating their game understanding if they're just playing off in this part. Is it something you've consciously tried to do?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think just playing lane, just from my experience, whenever I play lane, it just feels like you have to focus way more on what's going in your 2v2 or 1v1 rather than what's going on the whole map. And when you are playing jungle, you can kind of see the view of what enemy team is planning or what do you want to plan as your team. So it happens very often where I will tell my teammates, like, look, you're gonna be their target in mid lane for the next 1.5 minutes, and even though you are winning, you just need to respect this timing now. Or we are talking about the support having timing anywhere on the map, or when we are playing a matchup that we shouldn't be winning because it's a losing matchup, but it happens quite often that our teammates, I mean my teammates, are still gonna win it. I will make sure that we don't need to capitalize on the winning matchup too much. We just need to keep the tempo, and now we are blocking enemies from getting objective, so that's already a hard win for us, rather than trying to make a play where you dive enemies, but if it backfires, then you lost the whole lead that you created for no reason. So sometimes I think sometimes it's good for a jungler, I think, to have that view on the game, that to remind your teammates that sometimes they don't need to make some play, and sometimes they need to pressure more. Because I think there are also a lot of times where the game can be, let's say, the top side is lost, and we know that if the game keeps going slow, we're gonna slowly bleed gold. Then I need to tell my bot lane that now it's time to just try to flash in and make enemies make mistake, because we need to make something happen on the other side, because if the game keeps going slow, then it's worse for us. And I think it's really hard for a bot laner to see it. Oh, my top lane is losing now, so I need to suddenly start playing like a psycho. And I think for a jungler, it's way easier because I see the whole map and I see where enemies can make plays. And I have a bot laner to see it. Oh, my top lane is losing now, so I need to suddenly start playing like a psycho. And I think for a jungler, it's way easier because I see the whole map and I see where enemies can make plays and where we need to be making plays. So I think that's just how I view it. I think playing the game and just making decisions and making it way easier for my teammates to play.
One of your other key teammates in Evil Genius is obviously the mid laner Jojo Pion. Now, when you left him back then, he was still like almost a rookie, you know, he barely played pro. People already knew he had talent. He clearly had mechanical ability. But I think people forget, even in that team, sometimes he was a player who also wasn't, he hadn't mastered the game, you know. He had like certain areas he was strong in, and he had certain areas where it looked like he needed help from the team and the coaching staff, etc. I wanted to ask what you think of him since then, because people will forget now, because they're going great somewhat in MCOI. He had that period in Cloud9 afterwards where actually he got flamed. I mean, the Jokers, the org basically blamed him and kicked him out, and it looked like for whatever reason they just didn't want to play with this guy. Then he came to Europe, he matched with Elyoya, etc., and then since then he's had success. I think most people, even when MCOI's bad, think he's one of the better parts of the team. Some people think he might be as good at mid lane as Caps, for example. What have you thought about Jojo Pure after Evil Geniuses from outside?
I mean, I think still he's probably the best laner in Europe or NA, but I think he still has this clear weakness that he always had, which is going into the mid game. Sometimes he just loses his mind. There's countless amount of games when I see him being in such a good spot in the game, and then he just makes some crazy play happen that if I was with him on the team, I would flame him so hard for that, because that makes just no sense. He knows how to get a really good position in the game, but then he does something with such a high risk and obviously high reward, but so unnecessary to do that. Yeah, I mean that's something we're working with him when we were on the same team, and I think that got to the good point. But yeah, recently I also saw, I think that's just his playstyle, and I think he needs someone that will tell him that right now you don't actually have to do much in order to win. Just take even number fights. You don't have to look for some sort of outplays. And like I think his classic is when he has Prio in side lane, he just groups mid because he's slightly faster than enemy laner, and he tries to make a big team fight happen just because he has a little window of an advantage. But if enemy don't give him this team fight instantly, he might overstay and then force a team fight where enemy mid laner is already there. And at that point, when you are winning and forcing a 5v5 somewhere in a not correct spot for you, which is like close to enemy tier 2 tower in mid lane, you can throw the game, and I feel like I've seen him throw the game like that a lot of times. So I can tell for sure he's getting impatient in some of the moments of the game. But other than that, I think he's a great player. Um, so yeah, just try to be a bit more patient in the game. I mean, I'm telling that to a lot of players because I think Saint also had similar issues and still has. He just gets very impatient when he has a lead and he wants to do more than he needs to.
Let me ask a follow-up question then. I feel like, though, it's even though it's easy for you to say, because this is an area you've thought about a lot, and as you say, you're seeing the bigger picture because you're the jungler. I feel like it's a classic problem people make who are either carries or even in other games where they're just star players, is they're used to trying to beat people with their hands, like you say, and make the outplay and be the fastest and do everything really quickly. But as you're saying, I actually do think one area people could look at the great players like the Fakers of the world is they clearly also have amazing patience, don't they? And like one thing I'm always impressed with Faker is it feels like in fact if you ever watch his, when you can see his hands in his keyboard when he's in the game, he never looks like he's doing that like that, he always looks like he's just in control, doesn't he? You'd never believe that was like a world championship. That's kind of like a skill you have to learn too, right? Kind of patience. Is it something you had to learn? Were you always patient, do you think?
I don't think I was always patient, but I think I learned it with time. That, as I said before, sometimes best action is just not doing anything and just waiting for something to happen, because that's just not your job to be the first one starting stuff happening. And as you said, I think I could clearly see it from the Asian players that were way more patient and they were way happy taking trades where, let's say, they take a little poke on you, but they don't take anything in return, rather than taking half of your health but losing 25% of theirs. Because they knew that if they are patient, they are not losing anything and they will slowly bleed you out. While if EU or NA players, I often see when they have a possible, they have a chance to get a big chunk on the enemy, but they will also suffer a little bit on it, they will instantly go for it. They don't have that patience that the time is going with them, and the longer the lane, the better it is for them. And I feel like that's something that is hard to learn, because when you see opportunity in front of you, it kind of feels weird to not take it fully instantly. And I think sometimes in League, you just have to be a bit more patient. You shouldn't take the first option you have just cause.
One theme in this interview that we will certainly revisit later on, because it comes with a fun trash talk, but I wanted to ask about now is, I always thought after that Evil Geniuses period, people will forget this. I think people deleted the year after, bro. They think it was just a really successful period and then Danny quit. No, there was the split afterwards, the one where they made the super team with someday it failed. And then in summer, because they all had no money left, they just benched everyone. And then it was like JoJo plus randoms that shouldn't even be in LCS. And then you would just sat on the bench and you were one of the best players in the league. What I always wondered about was, to me, that was the obvious period where I remember thinking, why isn't some top EU org at the end of that year saying, oh, I see that you've been in this like bullshit situation. Just come to our org, come back to Europe. Obviously, you've had a part-time when you were going to have to leave anyway. You obviously end up going to FlyQuest, right? Is it the case?
Completely forgot that I need to mute. Something's weird. I think my team is on a Zergfest. Oh shit. Meaning let's see. Hunter. Blind. Let me see. Get on the mage here. Actually, get on the warrior. Get on the mage. Yeah, they have a good they basically go at least 3 in each cart and grab all carts. And then my team overshoots and doesn't spread. And so I'm the only one that tries to spread out on the map. See? That was 2 players. They never go alone. Ever. They're playing well. They're playing really well. Solid. Like this. I need to get out of this cart. Right. Died outside of the card, I think. We'll see in the VOD. Yeah, the way they're playing is really good. I like it. Really solid. It's always Druid, Hunter, Mage, Warlock. They're doing off cards. So now they're going top. So I need to, let's see, I need to go here. Need to go bot. They win with this. Have it. Fuck, I died inside. I threw. Oh, we all died inside, okay. Yeah, they played well. But I like the fact that, well, I was about to say I like the fact that my team didn't give up, but then I just realized that they also basically just went one-on-one. I tag this. Fuck it. I defend this. I hold my own. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I should log off now. Might be a move. Rest early. Oh. I queue 5 minutes. And then I'm out. That works. Might be a bad choice. But I don't really care. Let's see. Where's the...
They're patient, they are not losing anything, and they will slowly bleed you out. While if I was always patient, but I think I learned it with time. That, as I said,
And as you say, you're seeing the bigger picture because you're the jungler. I feel like it.
So I can tell for sure he's getting impatient in some of the moments. Saint also had similar issues and still has. He just gets very impatient when he has a lead, and he
in the jungler. I feel like it's a classic problem people make who are either carries, or even in other games where they're just star players, is they're used to trying to beat people with their hands, like you say, and make the outplay and be the fastest and do everything really quickly. But as you're saying, I actually do think one area people could look at the great players like the Fakers of the world is they clearly also have amazing patience, don't they? And like one thing I'm always impressed with Faker is it feels like, in fact, if you ever watch his, you know, when you can see his hands in his keyboard when he's in the game, he never looks like he's doing that. Like that, you know, he always looks like he's just in control, doesn't he? You'd never believe that was like a world championship. That's kind of like a skill you have to learn too, right? Kind of patience. Is it something you had to learn? Were you always patient, do you think?
I don't think I was always patient, but I think I learned it with time. That, as I said before, sometimes best action is just not doing anything and just waiting for something to happen, because that's just not your job to be the first one starting stuff happening.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
Yeah, as you said, I think
I forgot about that. Damn it. Not all characters can do... Yeah, this is a problem. I basically can't trust the in-game thing because the in-game thing is too, yeah. Fuck. Boring. Let me think. Nah, I dropped Q. I'm too tired. That's perfect. Basically what I'll do is I'll come up with a plan for how I can do things when I'm queuing. Yeah. Way too tired. Also got a lot done today, that's good. In real life, that is... Actually got things done in game too, but... Yeah. Let's see. Thorin says he doesn't prepare questions. But how does he prepare with the first one? Because he definitely rehearses his jokes. So, or whatever. And I don't think he's lying in that sense, but something's missing. Yeah. This is perfect. I'm actually too tired to read up on info. That's perfect. That means that I can just kind of go to bed. I think. Is there anything missing here? Yeah, all of these are max. That's max. That's... yeah. That's a loud volume. What the fuck happened there? Why is it so loud? Oh. Hold on. Yeah, alright. Cool. We're done. I'll hit the outro music, intro music, all the music. Right. Perfect. Alright. Thanks for watching. How long was this? An hour? Yeah. 2 hours, the fuck? Yeah, queue times. Long queue times. Alright. Peace. Gray's out. Shit. Picked the wrong thing. Fuck, I was reading. That was so vibey. Be right back. Hold on. That was so vibey.